Oh, it's another day here at the Comeback Team Studios. And this is your host, Bek Lover. And you're tuned in to another action-packed episode of the Interesting Times podcast right here on the Bek Lover podcast, where I cover all the news, all the headlines from around the world. We could be talking about aliens, to celebrities caught in scandals, to world events and war, anything I think you need to know about this crazy world that we live in. Because I promise you, there's no reason to watch movies or read books about fiction, because the world we live in is so much stranger than any fiction sci-fi movie you've ever seen. In today's episode, we're going to cover the congressional hearing about UAPs. We're going to talk about what's coming in America, these cabinet picks. We're going to be talking about the Middle East. We're going to be talking about the things to come in the world that we live in. And for those of you that think we're out of the woods just because Trump got elected, that couldn't be further from the truth. This is the quiet before the storm. So make sure you smash that subscribe button. You can watch this podcast on YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, and you can listen to the audio version, which is a little more boring, on any podcast platform there is. Make sure you follow all the social media handles, because I post all types of content on my Twitter, formerly known as Twitter, on X. And if you're watching on X, welcome. Join our Discord. We have a lot coming your way. We're expanding. We're in the top 2% of all podcasts in the world. And I want to thank all of you, my loyal followers and friends, because we've come a long way. It's been a very viral couple of years. I can't even walk outside anymore without being stopped in the streets, and it's a weird feeling. On planes, anywhere I seem to go. I can't even go to prayer anymore without being not bothered, but greeted. And thank you for all of your support. In any event, we're going to jump into this right now. I'm going to start with the congressional hearing. I did not have a chance to watch it, so we're going to go over the top 10 moments, and I'm going to give you my take on that in real time. We are streaming live, so welcome, welcome, welcome. For those of you that want to know where I stand as far as the whole alien phenomenon, yes, there are aliens in that aspect of us not understanding other creations and other creatures that God has made in this universe. For those of you that know me, I'm very spoken and very public about my stance on the concept of aliens. You believe in aliens? I don't believe in aliens. I believe we're the aliens. Okay, that's what I believe. All right? I believe in God. He created human beings. There was other beings on the earth. People call them demons. In Arabic and Hebrew, they call them the JINN. These are beings that existed on earth long before humanity, and there was even other creations before that creation that we know very little about, because this wisdom belongs with the Creator. But I find it very interesting that this earth seems to be the place that God keeps testing these species. You know, when you look at it from the spiritual sense, there's all these planets and all these stars, but then why does God, from the Abrahamic faiths, continually use the earth? It's very interesting to me when you think about it in that capacity. So I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to restart the broadcast, because I have to put it in a format where my podcast listeners, I have a lot of them, probably more than on YouTube. But we're growing thanks to Sonny Foz. If he's watching, my guy Sonny Foz, an amazing human being. He came up here from Miami. He's been helping me on the back end. We're getting ready to expand to, we got the top 2% on our own because of you, because of all of you. We're in the top 2%. There's 3 million podcasts with all the suppression, all the shadow stuff, and me making a lot of mistakes, because it's hard enough making content. For those of you that are content creators or you just started, it is very difficult. There are so many different platforms. Each have their own algorithms. Each have to be, cut up, posted, pasted, keywords. It's a lot of work. And when you're an independent operator, not controlled by the powers that be, I've been having people trying to sign me and get me to commit to their agencies for the last year and a half. I refuse to sign with anybody. I depend on you. I will not be controlled. I will not be silenced. So whoever wants to work with me, sponsors this, that, they're either going to let me do what I've always done, because I don't care. I didn't start this work for their sponsorships and their money and their blah, blah, blah. I will speak my truth and I will listen to your opinions. And we're going to make this show interactive eventually. Eventually, I do want to, you know, revamp the studio. When I first started this broadcast, okay, and we're talking 4 years ago, I used to take calls. You used to be able to call in. Sometimes I got pranked. People even showed their ass to me on camera, whatever. It's funny. It's giggles. It is what it is. I want to go back to that, you know, creative stuff. I mean, I see your comments here, Victor and AK and, you know, Adil, you know. So, you know, I want to go back to making those interactive shows where people can call in from all over the world and we discuss various topics. My commitment to all of you is, besides doing the daily podcast, 30 minutes to an hour, where I cover all the headlines of the world, I am going to start interviewing people for the comeback team. I am going to start doing specials about religion, about politics, about history. I'm going to be doing reaction videos. There's a lot of content coming your way. I'm going to be in the streets, streaming live in New York City, interviewing people, going to various events. You have a lot coming your way. Eventually, I'm probably going to create a premium version of my content where you have access. I'm creating a community where we can all come together. You can help me support my work. You have access to me. I'm hosting spaces on X. I mean, I'm doing this full time right now, folks, 15 hours a day. It's not easy. So I just want to thank all of you. Forgive me if you're watching live. I'm going to cut the stream. I'm going to restart the stream. And let's get into it. Is it aliens? Is it really human beings? Or is it demons working with human beings? Is it human beings that have sold their souls? Have they rubbed the bottle for the genie to come out and give them wealth and power on this earth to deceive humanity? Is it the CERN technology, which I believe has opened portals to the demonic realm, to the dimension of the jinn, to allow them to come into our dimension? So we've been preconditioned to accept that these are just aliens. Are we being preconditioned like people like Billy Carson, who I think's only in it for the money? This is my humble opinion. He mixes truth with falsehood with these stories of the Anunnaki, which is nothing more than the deception of the devil and his army throughout time, from civilization to civilization, using the same tricks and tactics to deceive humanity from the ancient great civilizations. This is my theory. This is my belief. Maybe those pyramids were not built by human beings. Maybe those pyramids were built by the demonic realm. As we know, Pharaoh had great power through black magic. Or maybe they found those pyramids because we know that the demonic realm is parallel on this earth. And maybe when Adam fell from the heavens, maybe God locked the jinn into a different dimension. So if they're already on earth, maybe when Adam fell from the heavens, maybe God locked the jinn into another dimension, and what we are seeing are their runes that were on the earth, because he made Adam, peace be upon him, the king of this world. He made him the Khalifa, and this is why the devil, Satan, hated Adam, because God loved him and gave him the dominion to be the Khalifa. Him and his children would be the ones on the earth. So maybe all these runes that they can't explain how this was built and all this crazy stuff, maybe it was nothing more than demonic cities that were created before humanity inhabited the earth. This is another one of my theories. Again, these are all theories, and all glory and knowledge belong to God, but these are some of my theories that I've come up with over the last 25 years. But I know one thing. Whatever they tell us, I will never believe. I will never accept. I know we live in the time of great deception. And my God, maybe I'll just cut this episode up. How about that? Maybe I won't even stop this stream. So let's get back into it. We'll just have to chop this thing up, I guess. We'll see. But let's keep going. There's too much energy here, man.
To the incoming administration and Congress, I say to you, we need immediate public transparency. And this hearing is an important step on that journey. If we approach the UAP topic in the same way as we, as Americans, have met other challenges, we can restore our faith in our government institutions.
Number 8, a mysterious white orb over Kuwait.
And since my reporting on this immaculate constellation last month, another source came forward who told me that they saw a roughly 13-minute long, high-definition, full-color video of a white orb UAP coming out of the ocean approximately 20 miles off the coast of Kuwait.
Michael Schellenberger's testimony expressed the environmental journalist's belief that there is, quote, a growing body of evidence that the government is not being transparent about what it knows about unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAP, formerly called UFOs.
It was filmed from a helicopter. Then halfway through the video, the person said the orb is joined by another orb that briefly comes into the frame from the left before rapidly moving again out of the frame.
To his point, Schellenberger shared several examples from a whistleblower's report that described several confounding military encounters with supposed UAPs. Most notably of all, Schellenberger revealed that he had been informed of a, quote, 3-minute-long, high-definition, full-color video of a white orb UAP coming out of the ocean approximately 20 miles off the coast of Kuwait.
Now, what's very interesting to me is when they say these things are coming out of the ocean, we know from the Islamic perspective that the throne of Shaitan, also known as Satan in English, for those of you that are not Muslim, we know that the throne of the devil is above water. So, could that be why these orbs are coming out from the water? So these are just things I want you to understand, okay, when we think about the spiritual, okay? If you want to know who the aliens are, go in your bathroom and look in the mirror. If you believe in God, you are the aliens. We are not the original inhabitants of this earth. We were given dominion over this earth by our Creator. And when Adam and Eve fell from the heavens, the war transferred from heaven, because that war started in heaven. When the devil and his species did not accept the commandment of God to show respect to Adam, when in essence God was giving the Khilafah, or what we call the kingdom of the earth, to Adam and his creation, his descendants, the war began long before we were on the earth. And the war has been going on ever since. And what I believe is going on, there are human beings amongst us who are traitors to humankind. They have fallen for the deception of Satan and his army. And they have sold their souls, whether they're in Hollywood, whether they're in government. They do these rituals. They have gotten knowledge that they should not have. And they use this knowledge to enslave humanity and to create chaos and fitna, which is struggle upon the earth. To my Christians, my Jews, and my Muslims, those who believe in God, this war has been going on since before the first human being ever stepped foot on the earth. And we know that our enemy will attack us from the front and from the back and from the left and from the right. And that they will use anything within their disposal to lead you astray, to lead you away from your Creator, to paint these stories of you were created by aliens and they altered your DNA. And they mix stories of the Bible and the Quran, and they try to paint this story of how, we were created by aliens, which is nothing more than a reinvented version of Scientology. When you study the lives of people like L. Ron Hubbard, the founder of Scientology, when you study Jack Parsons, the reason rocketry made it as advanced as it has, and you realize that these people were involved in occult practices and black magic, and they never called these beings that they summoned aliens, they called them entities. They were worshiping demonic spirits. This is in their own history. This is not something I'm making up. You guys want to know how weird the world we live in is? Go study the life of Aleister Crowley, and that is a big chunk, and that will save you a lot of time to realize the world that we live in, and you see who he's connected to, and certain government agencies, and they were doing rituals and black magic, which is how I believe we got this technology. I do not believe this is something human beings created. When you look at the technological curve, we were like this for so many years. And all of a sudden, right around the time Aleister Crowley is doing these rituals in California with Jack Parsons, and they start sending rockets up. And we know in the words of Jack Parsons, he said he was contacted by a being in his dreams, and this being's name was DAJJAL. DAJJAL is the Arabic word that Muslims use for Antichrist. Why would a scientist who has advanced technology for us so dramatically, in his own words, say he did rituals and he sees a vision where a being that uses the word that Arabs use for Antichrist contacted him and said, "You are crucial for my work. I'm going to help you." Because the Antichrist has been on this earth. He has not appeared yet. The Antichrist is out there. And I believe his time is coming soon, but only God knows best. But the signs are there, whether you're a Christian or a Muslim. There is much we have in common, and a lot of these prophecies overlap. And we can only confirm what may have came from Jesus or the prophet, peace be upon him, because you do have to have some scrutiny when you're looking at the testaments and you're looking at the hadith, which are the recorded sayings of the prophet, and you take what is accurate from those things only by looking backwards to see if those prophecies came true. I do believe that we are in the middle of a major shift on the world. I do not believe that the believers in God will have the upper hand right now. I do not think that what is going on in the Middle East will stop. I believe that temple will rise and the Antichrist will show himself at some point in the future. It is important that we stay spiritual. No one can call themselves a believer in God and justify the destruction of women and children. And I don't care if that's a Muslim, a Jew, a Christian, a Hindu, a Buddhist. You are not a human being if you believe that you can destroy buildings with children in them and call it collateral damage. I don't care what religion you come from. Extremism exists in all groups of people, and we must stick together to end the violence in this world, to stop the division. We don't have to believe what we believe. You don't have to believe what I believe, but I think we can all agree, live and let live. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Give people the dignity they deserve. Don't try to bamboozle anyone with history and lies and whitewashing and propaganda and dehumanizing people. Okay? That is what's wrong with the world. This is the Great Awakening. And everyone feels this call to being more spiritual. Some people say, oh, the universe, and oh, I'm going to meditate, and oh, and I'm going to do an ayahuasca ritual, which I do not recommend. I believe when you do ayahuasca, you are opening portals to the demonic realm. And what these people don't understand, because some of them have very good experiences. So when they take ayahuasca or they take the toad peyote, which is a very intoxicating frog poison, what they don't realize is that they're playing with fire. Now, from the Muslim perspective, we understand in the demonic realm, there are beings that have free will, and that not all of these beings are evil. So I believe sometimes when people are taking ayahuasca and they're coming across, as they describe, these elves, and they're funny and they interact with them, I believe they are interacting with the jinn or the demonic realm that is not evil. But I have also encountered people who have done ayahuasca trips and have been petrified, would never do it again, who had nightmares for years until they contacted me and I taught them how to make holy water, to perform ghusl, to cleanse themselves and to pray and to remove this evil from them. If you're someone out there that's doing ayahuasca, I understand you might be having some really cool and life-changing experiences, but you're playing with fire, kid. You're playing with fire and you're playing with things you do not understand. Okay? When we allow intoxicants into ourselves, okay? You know, I can't tell you, listen, I'm not going to lie. One of my best friends was begging me, and he comes from a Muslim family. He's not religious himself. Begging me to do ayahuasca. You have to. I said, my friend, do you know why I'll never do ayahuasca? Because I am an enemy to the evil demonic realm. I educate people on who they are and what's going on. If I allow myself to come under that intoxication, I don't know what they're going to do to me on that side. And that's why I'll never do ayahuasca, peyote. I know that they're real. I get thousands of messages from all of you. People suffering from the evil eye. People who want to unalive themselves. Who have reached out. People that are not even Muslim who have done these prayers, and the anxiety that they've suffered from, the nightmares that they've had, the horrible experiences that they've had in their lives have disappeared. I've posted many of these messages on my stories, screenshots, thousands and thousands of them over the last 2 years, which is why I hope you follow my Instagram account. I don't make money. I don't take money from people to help them. There is a God. There is a spiritual world. There is a demonic force. There is something known as spiritual decay. There is the susceptibility of you being possessed by demonic objects when you're having intercourse and illegal sexual relationships, and you never cleanse your soul, you never purify, you never wash, you never pray. It's why I believe homeless people, so many of them, are not just suffering from mental illness, they're actually possessed, because they stay in their own excrement, they stay in their own urine, they pee, they live in filth, they drink intoxicants, and they are very easily and very susceptible to being possessed by demonic forces. You ever seen them in the streets in places like New York, Chicago, major cities around the world, LA, and they're sitting there and they're talking to no one, and people call it schizophrenia? I'm telling you, some of these people are possessed. They're that filthy from living in their own waste, from peeing and shitting literally in their own pants, from taking a bath every, who knows, some of them will take baths for years. And of course you're going to have some mental side effects when you're dealing in that kind of existence. There's so much more than that meets the eye, the seen and the unseen, in the world that we live in. I do not believe in aliens the way they are telling us. I believe this is nothing more than a demonic deception to lead humanity astray, to make them forget their creator, to make them think that they were invented by aliens. And I think there was a very high probability that in the very near future we will see these aliens. There is a strong possibility that they've opened a portal, maybe using CERN type technology, where one dimension can come into another dimension. And if the jinn can be seen by the human eye, and they still have their power, the demonic realm still has their power, what an amazing way to deceive humanity. Imagine seeing these shape-shifting beings. We know that they can shape-shift because their stories are in our books. We know that the devil shape-shifted to teach the children of Cain how to play music. Okay? So when we think of how they've conditioned us to accept aliens, to those of us that are spiritual, Muslims and Christians, we know that this is nothing more than the demonic realm. You've had people like Tucker Carlson, okay, one of the most prominent media figures in America, who now says, I know there's something spiritual to this. This is not aliens the way they're telling us. Hey, Tucker, congratulations. The Muslims have been saying this for the last 40 years. I challenge people to go listen to the lecture of Hamza Yusuf, New World Order. What a phenomenal lecture. After 30 years, to go back and listen to his prophecy that he's using, religion to predict. His accuracy in that lecture was stunning. 100% accurate. That speech came out in the UK around 95, 96. I was about 13, 14 years old. That lecture changed my life forever. And everything he was predicting. The internet was in its infancy. People were just using like dial-up or DSL. It wasn't even that advanced yet. And his predictions of the world we would live in today, 30 years later, stunning accuracy. Still an amazing roadmap to the world we live in and what's coming next. So I must credit Hamza for his amazing work in 1995, 96, because the Bosnian War was still going on. So if I had to guess, he was talking about the Bosnian War in that lecture. That lecture is from 1995. And I highly recommend that you guys, as the Christians say, and I love this expression from the Christians, put on the armor of God. Put on the armor of God. With the Christians, I love that terminology. Put on God's armor. Now, the Muslims, how do you do that? You're washing, you're putting, right? Every day you're performing baptism, what the Christians would call baptism. You're spiritually cleansing. You're performing what they call hoodoo, not voodoo for you psychos out there. Hoodoo, which is the act of washing and purifying. And I believe that the reason God commands us in the faith of Islam is not only to spiritually cleanse you, but is to protect you from the demonic realm. They are made from some type of smokeless fire, and we are made from the earth and water. So when we cleanse, I believe there's some type of protection with this ritual that the Muslims do before every single prayer. And how do I know this? Because I lived both sides of life. I've lived a life that wasn't religious and believing in God, and I've lived the life of excess where most people dream of having, where I could go into any place I want in New York City and have anything I want. Anything I want. And I can tell you, as someone that's lived on both sides of that life, I choose God. I choose God. Because when I was on this side, the left side, as they say, the wrong side, I had no peace in my life. I had anxiety, paranoia, because I polluted my own soul. I did things that a human being is supposed to stay away from if they believe in God. And you don't understand these things when you're young. So if you're young and you're watching my show, you think it's just a drink. Oh, it's just a puff. Oh, it's just a girl. Oh, what's the big deal? You won't realize it till later in your life, the destruction you can do to your own soul, your own life, your family, everything. You must protect yourself at all costs. Put on, as the Christian would say, put on the armor of God. Connect to source. Pray to God directly. We are in a spiritual battle. This has nothing to do with aliens. And that is my truth, honest opinion. Let's go.
End quote, declining to name his source.
The person discovered the video on SIPR, the Secure Internet Protocol Router Network, which the DoD uses to transmit classified information.
Number 7. Representative Lauren Boebert takes a jab at President Biden.
Now that we have all been cautioned in this committee hearing that the mention of Pentagon's Immaculate Constellation program could put us on a list, well, I already find myself on many lists, I'm sure. So I speak my mind often, so why not just keep going with it?
Don't worry.
These people have no idea what they're talking about, bro. These people don't even know what they're messing around with. These people don't understand how serious this is and how close we really are. But God knows best. We are in crazy times. Okay? I want to remind you that the prophet said, peace be upon him, do not believe anything you hear in the end of time and half of what you see. So imagine even your own eyes will deceive you. And unless you have light, unless you have cleansed yourself, unless you have the armor of God, as the Christians would say, upon you, you will be deceived. You will believe these agendas. You will believe that you were created by something else and not by the Creator, who easily we can see the perfection of his design when you just look at your hands, your eyes. Amazing. I mean, you can see God's design, man. You can see that it's not by accident. We weren't created for sport, as God says. It's not for his amusement. It's not some cosmic gag reel. That there is a reason why humanity was created and placed on this earth. And I think part of that is that God created this species before us that had the earth before us, and they failed, much the way that we are failing. And they had cities, and they had wars, and they have done many of the things that human beings are doing to themselves right now. That's why the angels asked God, will you create another creation that spills blood on the earth? And God responded to him in the book, and he said, I know that which you do not know. So to me, that's amazing. And if he didn't tell them why, I can't wait to find out why. Like, why, God? Why did you make us? Why did you create us? Why did you put us on this earth? Now, I know it's to try and to see which of us would be amongst the righteous and to have our permanent resting place back home where our father Adam fell from grace. Peace be upon him. That we can return and live with our Creator, to be amongst him, you know, the Creator. So I guess we're playing for keeps, folks. They always like to tell you YOLO, you only live once. Well, that is a demonic expression because it's actually YOT, you only live twice. And the next time around is forever. YOT, not YOLO. Okay? You can't be someone that believes in God and say YOLO. You got to say YOT, YOT. You only live twice, and the second one's for keeps, son. In any event, I don't know what the hell I'm doing on this episode. It's out of format. I want to shout out AK again, man. AK, thanks for the super chat, man. That $20, I'm going to go buy a cheeseburger later. Halal, hopefully. Let's keep going with this clip.
Hurry. We'll get to the secret, shadowy, immaculate constellation and what exactly that means in a little bit. For now, though, we'll focus on Colorado Representative Lauren Boebert's commentary on it.
May as well just go all out and say it. The earth is flat. Birds are government drones. And we've never sat on foot on the moon, and Joe Biden received 81 million votes in the 2020 election.
The controversial, outspoken Congresswoman has been a staunch ally of President-elect Trump and has repeatedly reaffirmed his false claims that his 2020 electoral defeat of Joe Biden was illegitimate. In a move that was perhaps unsurprising to those familiar with Bobart's previously stated positions, she jokingly rattled off a list of claims that might get her in trouble with the Department of Defense, including a pointed comment about President Biden's 2020 vote count.
So let's just see how many lists we could get on here today. But Mr. Schellenberger, I wanted to ask you, I think I understand from this hearing that you would agree that classifying information like this is not in the best interest of the people. Is that correct?
Number 6, Elizondo.
Yo, we live in wild times, bro. I mean, we live, honestly, man, we live in wild times. Wild times, man. Wild times. You know, I named this show Interesting Times, right? That's how this started 4 years ago. I would read comments from you, like from UAP and Jibu and, you know, Muhammad Bahi over here and AK from AL. You know, and it was interactive, and I kind of missed that, and I think we're going to go back to that. But let me tell you something, man. We live in wild times. The Chinese used to have a proverb, may you live in interesting times. It wasn't a good thing. It meant if you lived in interesting times, you lived during times of, you know, chaos. So you're living in those times. I have to break some news to all of you that are here in the stream and listening to me live. You are living in what I believe is the final era of humanity. Another 50 years, 100 years, even 400 years is nothing. When I see how fast 42 years has gone by of my own life, like, time moves very quickly, friends. Even if we're here another 400 years, let's say another 2, let's say we get lucky and we can push this Armageddon and end of the world shit back for another generation or two. I mean, just look at where it's going. And it seems like these forces of evil use the same tricks, same tactics throughout civilizations. The Roman Empire, when you study history of how they degenerated, okay, we're following the same path in every sense of the word. It seems like God kept giving us chances. The reason why I think this time it's the end is because the whole world is becoming godless. The whole world is programmed in. The whole world is, you know, asleep at the wheel. So, you know, the devil has a little patience. He's got more patience than us. The devil takes his time when he deceives people. He's willing to wait 1 or 2 or 3 generations. To my understanding, that's how idolatry was created. You see, all these people like Billy Carson that want to talk about the Anunnaki and the aliens, they made us. The Anunnaki. What they don't understand is that this species was on Earth long before humanity. You're not tricking any of us that believe in God. You're not tricking the Christian, Billy. You're not tricking the Muslim. You're not tricking the Jew. It ain't happening. We know that before human beings came to Earth, and he says himself, we are the aliens, right? He says that too, which is weird. But you ain't tricking nobody, man. We know that these beings were on Earth long before us, and they have powers that we don't have, but we have powers that they don't have. They have longer lifespans. They follow us around. They listening to us talk. You got to understand your enemy, my brothers and sisters. They know what bothers you. They know if you're a jealous person about your girl, they're going to put these thoughts into your mind, or what the non-believers would call telepathy. All the characteristics that they use to describe aliens and these possessions and abductions, if you really break it down, they are describing the race of Shaitan, the devil, Satan, Iblis. Okay? A'udhu billah. May they be far from us. That's what they're describing. We know that they kidnapped one of the companions of the prophet, that he disappeared for years. Okay, there's your abduction. Okay, I can go on and on and on. And this is not what the episode was supposed to be about today, because I really do want to put together an episode and try to like organize it well and put it together with chapters and all that stuff. And maybe Sonny's going to help me do that. I don't know. But it's about to get weird. My humble opinion to all of you, if you believe in God, they will try to deceive you. There's going to be some type of event where you're going to see, I think, in my humble opinion, God knows best, that you're going to see aliens, but they're not aliens. They are demons acting like aliens to deceive you, to take you away from God. Maybe the DAJJAL, the Antichrist, comes to save the world, because imagine the Antichrist, okay, is on earth to save the world. So something either massive happens, whether it's a war of Armageddon or an alien invasion, and he appears and saves us and says, I'm your savior. I mean, we don't know how it's going to play out. Scholars have made predictions. One of my theories is that's what could happen. The aliens come, but they're cooperating with the Antichrist. They stage this event and he saves us, and then everyone's like, oh my God, he's the savior of the world. And who knows? Who knows how it's going to play out? Or World War III, Armageddon, nuclear war, the aftermath of that, he rises to save whoever's left. That's another way it could go down. God knows best. All I know is there will be mass deception. All I know is you better pray like the drowning man. All I know is you better take care of your soul. All I know is you better clean. You see, that's why I got this toothpick here. Yeah? Take care of yourself. Take care of your body. Take care of your mind. Take care of your soul. We are living in interesting times. Indeed, my friends. So, I don't know what the hell happened with this episode. We're doing it live. My hair looks horrible. I haven't even taken a shower yet. That's why I put this Albanian hat on. Shout out to TV Alb if they're watching. My guy Leo. Let's continue.
Doesn't rule out the possibility of aliens.
Okay, Mr. Elizondo, you state in your testimony that, quote, advanced technologies not by our government or any other government are monitoring sensitive military installations around the globe, end quote. If these technologies are not made by any government, who's making them? Private companies, or are you implying they are crafted by a non-human intelligence?
Luis Elizondo's 2024 memoir, Imminent, Inside the Pentagon's Hunt for UFOs, was an instant smash hit, debuting at #1 on the New York Times bestseller list. Elizondo's book details seemingly unbelievable accounts of extraterrestrial activity on U.S. soil, as well as clandestine government efforts to cover it up.
Are these private companies you're implying, or is this non-human intelligence?
It may be both.
Okay.
When it comes to Blue Force Technologies, I would not be able to discuss.
Okay. Are you read into secret UAP crash retrieval programs?
We would have to have a conversation in a closed session, ma'am.
Testifying before Congress, Elizondo claimed that a previously signed document limited his ability to speak publicly about UAPs, and that the material covered in Imminent represents what he is legally permitted to discuss. As such, Elizondo stated unequivocally that the U.S. government has been involved in UAP crash retrieval operations, and that the search for alien life definitely had an impact.
I submitted for my book through the DOPSR process, which took a year for it to be reviewed. And what is in the book is what I was told I'm allowed to talk about.
Has the government conducted secret UAP crash retrieval programs, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, were they...
In the words of my friend Nino Rodriguez, former heavyweight boxing champion of the world, I've done some episodes with him, but I'll probably hop on. Welcome to End Times. We are living in such a crazy world, man. I don't trust these people as far as I can throw them. Okay, and I'm out of shape. I could barely lift 40 pounds on a bench press. All I'm telling you, folks, please don't just accept anything. Just remember, they've lied to you about so many things already. Why would you accept this? They've lied to us about so many things, from what's in our food to why wars are starting, to I can go on and on and on. These people that have done nothing but lie and sow corruption throughout the earth, and we're going to accept them giving us their official response. We should just, whatever they tell us. Okay, it's aliens. Okay, it's aliens. Okay, it's aliens. Okay, all right. Oh, they made us? They created us? Okay. They altered our DNA? Okay. No, they're trying to alter our DNA, with this And unfortunately, a lot of you took that and you altered your DNA. They actually altered it for you. They didn't need the aliens to do it. Yeah, you actually went like this without researching what the hell you were putting in you, and they altered it. So keep that in mind, man. Keep that in mind.
Designed to identify and reverse engineer alien craft, yes or no?
Yes.
Number 5, Immaculate Constellation.
Representative Luna just told me if I say Immaculate Constellation, I'll be on some list. Maybe a FISA warrant, so come at me, bro, I guess. But
well,
without objection, entered in the record.
What's that term?
We told you we were getting there. Perhaps the most mysterious aspect of the...
Immaculate Constellation?
Objection, entered in the record.
See?
Let's see what she said there again.
Representative Luna just told me if I say Immaculate Constellation, I'll be on some list.
Okay, let's see what the hell that is. Let's see what that term is. Here we go. Let's see here. This is Yahoo News. What is the Pentagon's alleged Immaculate Constellation program? Independent journalist Michael Schellenberg told News Nation a whistleblower has revealed the existence of an alleged Pentagon UFO program called Immaculate Constellation. According to the whistleblower, the Pentagon program collects and quarantines information on UFO, also known as UAPs. The program allegedly includes information from different types of intelligence, including high-quality image intelligence and measure and signature intelligence. Schellenberger did not reveal the whistleblower's precise role or whether they were employed as a Defense Department employee or as a contractor. How was the program discovered? According to Schellenberger, the whistleblower discovered the program by accident after stumbling upon a database containing UFO information. In one encounter reportedly detailed by the whistleblower, a group of orbs surrounded an F-22 and forced it out of its designated patrol area. Again, this is all fine and dandy. The JINN have powers, the demonic realm have powers that we do not have. Okay? None of this stuff is like, oh my God, it's an alien. Let's get back to that video real quick with these highlights because none of us have time to sit there and watch 2 hours of this bullshit, in my opinion. But let's keep it going. We're going to get to some of the news headlines today, too. Where the hell is that video? Let's go back. It's been an interesting day here. Did I just put this down? Let's see. Let's see. No. It's not easy, my friends. I think I might have closed the video out. I don't see my YouTube tab here. In any event, you get the gist of it all. I think there's a lot of deception going on. I think there's a lot of bullshit going on. I think there's a lot of, deception going on. So just, protect yourselves. Make sure you, stay vigilant. And, just understand that, actually, I think I can just go backwards. Can I? No, I can't. All right, let's see if it pops up. Let's see if we get that back up. No, I can't. Okay, well, I guess that's not happening. By the way, remember this episode I did with Godfrey? This shit was wild. That was his biggest live stream of all time. This is a great episode you could watch if you want more information. This doesn't make sense. I was smart enough to know, I'm like, this doesn't make sense for me to still be in this state. And I do worship God, and I do pray to God. And I try to be optimistic, and I understand that life is a trial and tribulation. That the world is not designed for us to all be happy, bro. It's not. Because then it wouldn't be a test. So I go to all these doctors, make the story short, they check everything, my minerals, my vitamins. Make sure you check out this episode, Danny Jones' podcast, God, Aliens, and the Demonic Realm. I apologize in advance for the cursing. I've promised not to curse as much when I'm doing spiritual content. I'm trying not to curse at all. It's not really the way someone that believes in God should speak. I agree. Unfortunately, when you live in New York City, it's a bad habit, man. My whole life I had to listen to hip-hop music, F this, F that, F this, F that. I'm Albanian. They love to curse, too. The minute you step off the airplane, Tachif Shannon, like, all you hear is cursing. I've literally been surrounded by cursing my entire life. I agree it's not the right language. I know it's disgusting, and anyone that believes in God should not speak like that. So pray for me, for I have sinned. Now, let's read some of the headlines today. I don't like this guy's face, man, okay? God gives us empathic vibes, right? These two guys, man, I like a lot of the stuff Matt Gaetz has done. You got to remember, these people will say whatever they got to say to get in power. I don't trust any politician, bro. None. Like Tony Montana said, who do I trust? Me. Who put this shit together? I did. This guy right here, bro, this dude, not this dude, the other dude. This dude gives me bad vibes right here, man. I'm telling you, I got a bad feeling about this guy. I really do. I really, really do. Okay? I just got a bad vibe about this guy. Now, for those of you that are wondering who this is, okay, this is Trump's, nomination. Okay, Pete Hegseth, Trump's choice as defense secretary, whose path to Senate confirmation was already complicated over concerns about his inexperience and extreme views. Following revelations that police in California investigated an assault allegation against him in 2018, no charges were pressed, but the allegations were sufficiently serious for Trump's newly appointed chief of staff, Susie Wiles, to reportedly speak to Hegseth after she learned of them on Wednesday evening. According to Vanity Fair, which initially reported the story, the incoming president's own lawyers also talked to Hegseth, a 44-year-old Fox News host and Army veteran who has railed against, amongst other things, women serving in military combat roles. I mean, I got to be real, man. I mean, I have family that's in the military. I actually have family that's in, women and in the military right now. And let's be real. Okay, let's just be real for a second. I'm not saying women shouldn't be in the military or they can't. I think spiritually they shouldn't be. I think that's the duty of men, is to serve and to fight and to defend and to protect. But all right, if we want to talk as Americans, let's be real. Do you think an all-female battalion of women could defeat an all-female battalion of men in battle, an actual battle? I'm talking about on the battlefield with guns, trenches, carrying equipment. Do you think they would win? Seriously. If we got the best of the best, the most physically fit women in the world against the most physically fit men in the world, armed them both equally and put them in a battlefield, who do you think would win? Who would have the greater chance of succeeding? What do you think? Give me your opinion on this, folks. Okay? I mean, they shouldn't be in combat, I don't believe in Billy Carson Ziggy. I don't believe in Billy Carson at all. Zelensky says Russia-Ukraine war will end faster under Trump. Okay? Yeah, it's going to end because he's probably told them, hey, asshole, this free ride you've had for the last few years? It's over. My buddy Putin over there? Yeah. You better find an exit strategy. You guys had a good time. You made billions of dollars. Your people got blown up. It's coming to an end. Yeah, it's coming to an end. Yesterday, there was a racist incident that I want to address because I am American and I am Albanian and I am from the Republic of Kosovo, also known as Kosovo. I'm a little hurt by my Romanian brothers and sisters. I have a lot of Romanian friends, and I think Romanians are really cool people, but I did not appreciate the way you treated my people when they visited your field. They came there to play a game of soccer, and you guys had to bring up all this shit that has nothing to do with you, man. Like, you couldn't just stay out of it, man. Like, you had to create bad blood between us, and you like, to my understanding, I think Albanians named your capital, man. I think my ancient Illyrian brothers and sisters actually named your capital, and let me prove it to you. The capital of Romania is Bucharest. Bucharest. That's how you pronounce it in English. In Albanian, Bucur means beautiful. Usht means it is. The translation would be, it is beautiful. I think we named you, bro. That's what I think. I think you guys are trying to suppress ancient Illyrian history, bro. I think there's been a conspiracy against my people. We've impacted world history without a doubt. From ancient Illyrian times to the Roman Empire to Christianity spreading. I think a lot of Albanians, our ancient ancestors, had a lot to do with spreading Christianity throughout the world. Okay? And I think that there was a suppression of our people's history. Once we were under the Ottoman Turks, I think Western Europe got mad because a lot of Albanians became Muslim, and I think that they're being punished. I think our people are being punished. In my opinion, I think a lot of this history of who we were and what we are is suppressed for no other reason than the fact that the majority of Albanians are Muslim. That is my opinion. I've said it for the first time publicly here. I think this is the reason why America hasn't put Kosovo into NATO. They don't want to arm a Muslim country no matter how much they love America, no matter how many highways they name after Joe Biden, his son, Beau Biden, no matter how many statues we've built of Bill Clinton. But they want to give weapons to the Ukraine. They want to put the Ukraine in NATO. They want to leave billions of dollars to the Taliban in Afghanistan, yet a people who loves America with all of their hearts has to worry about being reinvaded again instead of being brought into NATO. They're willing to consider putting NATO, you know, they were talking about it at least, putting the Ukraine into NATO, while it's in an active war with Russia, and yet the Republic of Kosovo has been an independent country for over a decade, and they won't let us into NATO? So what else do you want to know, Albanians? Don't be surprised one day when they take their base, they take their stuff, and they leave, like they've done everywhere else, like they did in Vietnam, like they did in the Philippines, like they did in Korea, like they just did in Afghanistan, like they're going to do in Iraq. And they just leave us one day and we get reinvaded again. So you better wake up, Albanians. You better wake up, because you're waiting for the world to do what you should be doing, working with your Albanian brothers and sisters all over the planet. You have half of your population that lives outside of its borders. 50% of Albanians live outside of Albania proper. And when I say Albania proper, that includes the Republic of Kosovo and the territories that are highly inhabited by Albanians that the world divided into splinters after the collapse of the Ottoman Empire, where there was no borders and boundaries for over 500 years. And there is no doubt that the Albanians got the short end of that stick. Okay, they were divided into 4 different countries. Okay, so you better wake up, Albanians. You're sitting there waiting for people to come save you in America, in Europe. You got globalists running your shit. You got globalists running Serbia. You got globalists running Greece. You think going into the EU is going to be a good idea? How did it work out for Greece? How did it work out for Italy? Albania is not a big country. We don't need anybody. What we need is a righteous leader who uses the power of his people from around the world to bring investments and business. There's only 2 million people there. The coast is gorgeous. Tourism, outsourcing very quickly could turn the economy around and turn Albania into the Switzerland of the Balkans instead of absorbing it into the Western powers, losing its identity, losing its culture, losing its sovereignty that we fought so hard to save. Sorry for going off on a tangent for my non-Albanian audience, but I got to owe it to my people to speak about this subject matter. So it is what it is. People are asleep. They got us thinking the Serbians. Yes, have we had problems with the Serbians throughout history? Yes, my family got killed by them. Okay? But we have the same enemy. Right now, Serbians, Montenegrins, Greeks, Albanians, Macedonians, we have the same enemy. They are using us to hate each other so they can take away all of our identities, take away all of our cultures. We need to wake up. People of the Balkans, we've had enough war. They distract us by making us hate each other while they push their agendas to turn your boys into girls, to take God out of your society, to do what the fuck they've been doing for the last 20 years if you haven't been paying attention. That's what's going on. To take away our borders and boundaries that we fought so hard one another over. These borders and boundaries that you're all worried about right now are not even going to exist when the New World Order takes over the world. There will be no such thing as any sovereignty. Don't you understand? Everything you are all focused on is not going to matter if these people win. Right now, you actually have the same enemy. Wake up, Serbians. Wake up, Albanians. Wake up, Greeks. Wake up, Bosnians. Wake up, Croatians. Wake up, Slovenians. Wake up, the people of the Balkans. You have the same enemy, and you don't even know it. And they manipulate you, and they pin you against each other so they can give it to you. So we're living in an interesting time of deception. Wake up, my brothers. Wake up, brothers. They are brainwashing us to try to make us fight again so they can keep us all in debt, all in slavery, play with us and come after all of us. Okay, there might be some people that don't like this, but it's, I believe, to be the truth. I know we've had tensions throughout history. I'm not denying that. My great-grandfather died because of the Serbs. My family in 1998 died because of the Serbs. And I'm telling you that we actually have the same enemy for once in history. Kind of like when the Turks first invaded. We were on the same time, the same team, because the Albanians did fight in the Battle of Kosovo with Serbians at that time. That is a fact of history. They try to deny that, but we all know we were there too. We fought alongside the Serbs against the Ottoman invasion. That is a fact. So, you know, maybe it's that 1380 moment again, people of the Balkans. Wake up. Wake up. There is so much more going on. And to me, I find it funny. Like, they sit in these cafes and drink coffee, and everyone just talks politics all day, and nothing gets better for any of the people of any of those countries. You're all in debt. All your youth leaves, except for Croatia. They're doing pretty good, and Slovenia is doing okay. Croatia's doing the best. And the majority of your children sit in cafes and figure a way to get a plane ticket to get the fuck out of these countries. What have any of us won? What have you won? What did we win with war? All of our children are leaving and going to Western societies where they will melt and assimilate. Albanians, 50% of us live across the world. 2 generations, they won't speak Albanian. They lose their identity. So what are we winning? Serbians, Albanians, Croatians, Bosnians. 50% of our people leaving our countries. What are we winning by fighting each other? We're all losing. We're all losing. Wake up, bro. All right, that was my tangent for the Balkans. That's my tangent for the Balkans. Shout out to all the people of the Balkans. Wake up, damn it. Wake up already. Wake up already. Just accept your neighbor. Let's move on, man. They're coming for all of us. They're coming for all of us. Let's get some burek. Let's drink some yogurt. Let's eat some kebabs. Let's fucking eat some baklava. Let's fucking dance to music with clarinets, even though it's haram if you're a Muslim, but whatever. You get my point. They're going to do it anyway. Next story. I thought this was the most gangster shit I've ever seen in my entire life. The most gangster shit I have ever seen in a government building ever. Mad respect to the Maori lawmakers who interrupted the controversial vote in New Zealand. These are the indigenous people who were colonized, who lost sovereignty over their homeland, their ancient homeland. And I guess the queen of these people, who represents these people in the Parliament of New Zealand, she did not accept whatever they were trying to do. So before I play this video, let's read the article first. Maori lawmakers, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, Maori lawmakers interrupted a New Zealand parliamentary vote with a haka. A haka is like when they do their tribal, like right before battle, like when they have aggression. It's pretty dope. I've seen them do it at funerals. So they interrupted this vote on Thursday to protest a proposed law that critics say would erode land and cultural rights of the indigenous New Zealanders. Okay, so it's going to challenge more their lives, like what they've been through. Well, she wasn't having it. So this is what happened. And I think this is so fire. She's the queen of them. Power to the indigenous people. May they never be wiped out. May they preserve their identity and culture against all odds under occupation for hundreds of years. I found this to be brilliant. I'm rooting for their people, and tell those colonizers to go fuck themselves, bro. That's what I gotta say. Now, someone that I've said on many shows that I never thought would get involved in politics. I mean, like, at this point, I didn't understand why you would do it, Sylvestor. Why would you do it, Sylvestor, unless you really hate what has happened to California? Now, I had a dream that I met Sylvester Stallone It was so vivid. I never met him, but what's crazy is a couple weeks later, I met his brother. This actually happened like 6 months ago. If you go on my Instagram, you're going to see that I met his brother. I met him at Craig's in Beverly Hills. So I found it really funny that I had a dream about Sylvester Stallone. I'm like walking through his house in Malibu, and I'm hanging out with, it felt so real. I didn't want to wake up. And I was just talking about how much his movie inspired me and Never Give Up. And, you know, the whole concept of being a Rocky in your life, that no matter what you've been through. What I find funny is I started a show called The Comeback Team, and he tried to basically name his podcast that. But there's only one king of the comeback. That's Bek Lover. I own all the rights, the domain name, and I will relaunch that work. But in any event, I don't understand why Sylvester Stallone, as controversial as this election was, as divided as the nation is, I said that he was smart for staying out of it and not making any comments about it. And my whole point is, why wouldn't he endorse Trump during the election? Why do it after? It's already over. He won. Like, why even endorse him and lose the support you have from the other side? Just as a businessman, I didn't think it was a smart move, in my opinion. But I give him respect for coming forward and saying, you know, that I back this guy up. But you're a little too late to the party, Trump. You're just a little too late to the party, guy. Like, why get involved now? Like, why get involved now? Like, you should have been doing this a year ago when he was running. Why after he wins? Why make people on the left? Like, I'll never support Robert De Niro as long as I live, ever again, for getting involved in politics. All these singers that were supporting these agendas, by getting involved in politics and pushing this shit on people, they lost my support. So why, Sylvester, even if you don't agree with the left, why do it now? In any event, I don't know if Trump's the second George Washington. I think that's a little excessive. I think he needs to fucking prove himself. To be honest with you, he hasn't done, in my opinion, anything he promised as much as far as taking down the swamp. Let's fucking see him do it now. Let's see him do it. Now that they control the Senate and the Congress, let's see if he's going to drain the swamp. But to call him fucking George Washington #2, I don't know about that. Crazy. Let's see. How come I can't hear this video? Let's go. Let's reload and let's see what Sly has to say. And I'm friends with his friend's agent, which is crazy. Shout out to Agent Nikki. I haven't met him in real life yet, but all my friends are really good friends with his team. So who knows, man? You guys think I'm going to meet Rocky in real life? I want to meet the guy, man. I like him, man. I think he's a very smart man, bro. He's done a lot. Can we get this video going, man? Here we go, commercial.
This is tremendous. A platform that allows businesses to send gift cards and money right.
Yeah, you know what's tremendous? I'm going to lower the volume on that real quick. Let this play. So I look forward to maybe meeting him one day. And I think I will. He smokes cigars.
I didn't expect this, but I'll just keep it short and sweet because there's no such a thing as a speech too short. When I did Rocky, if you remember, the first image was...
It's crazy. You can hear the age in his voice, folks. Look at how he sounds. He's getting... Don't be deceived by the looks. You know, the Botox and all that stuff. He looks phenomenal for his age. But you can hear it in his... What happened to the video, man? You can hear the age in his voice, man. Can we get that up? There we go. Can we play now? Can we just play this damn video? I don't know what's going on with my internet, man. I got 1 gig up, one gig down. It's just been crazy lately. You know? So if you're liking this if you're liking this stream, you want to support my work, don't be scared to send a super chat. Don't be scared to send a little support. It goes a long way. I take care of Al the Pal, my editor and producer. I got teams across the globe that are cutting up clips for you. I'm busting my ass over here. I'm going to start selling some sick merch. Sick. When I tell you sick, sick. Okay? Yeah, maybe something's going on. Our skin. Here we go again. My skin. Our skin. My skin. You want to put some skin? You want to play the flute skin? Yeah, come on. Play the flute skin. Don't worry about it. I'll give you the flute skin if you want to. That's what I think this commercial looks like. You want to play the flute skin? Yeah, come on. Play the flute skin. Like, fucking sick shit that's out there, man. What they're doing to the world. They're pushing these agendas. They're pushing these agendas on us. You want to play the flute skin? Yeah, come on. Play the flute skin. We're going to have fun, my friends. I'm still finding my rhythm. You know? I don't know where this show goes. All I know is it's growing.
I didn't expect this, but I'll just keep it short and sweet because there's no such a thing as a speech too short. When I did Rocky, if you remember, the first image was a picture of Jesus, and it says Resurrection AC Club. I found a church that had been converted to a boxing ring. So the image pans down from Jesus onto Rocky being hit. And at that moment, he was the chosen person, and that's how I began the journey. Something was going to happen. This man was going to go through a metamorphosis and change lives, just like President Trump. We are in the presence of a really mythical character. I
gotta tell you, from the spiritual component, if Trump is not this hero that so many people believe, the QAnons and all this shit, what an amazing way to deceive the entire world and to be the precursor to DAJJAL, to the Antichrist, in my opinion. If this guy's not what he is, and I'll be honest with you, he's got to prove it to me, man. Okay, I voted for him. I would never vote for the left ever again, ever. When I was a child, I thought, oh, Democrats are cool. Oh, Bill Clinton's playing a saxophone. I knew nothing about life or politics. But I can tell you, if he's not the hero that so many of us pray that he will be, then he is the greatest deception and deceiver right before the Antichrist appears, in my opinion. It's either one or the other. There's no middle. Either Donald Trump is going to delay this for at least a generation, or he is the greatest deceiver ever, controlled op. There's no middle with him. There is absolutely no. I don't think she would do better, Scott. I would never vote that side ever, ever. But my point is, a lot of these politicians are bowing to other people in powers. And are they really putting America first, bro? So that's all I got to say, bro. That's all I got to say, bro. Now, I do think that this was some type of foreign, psyop or something. There was a lot of horrible text messages sent out to people calling them racist and all this stuff, right? This was a way to create chaos in America. The FBI is aware of the offensive and racist text sent to African American and black communities. First of all, how did these people even know what color people would be based on their name or phone number? Okay. And they targeted Hispanics and LGBTQ. They keep expanding. LGBTQIA. I guess the last letter will be P for pedos, I guess. It's the only one missing now. How many fucking letters are you going to add, bro? Really? Like, seriously, bro? Like, this is crazy, bro. Wow. All right. So, yeah, I don't think that these text messages that went out were by accident. I think it's part of a psyop to stir hatred. I found this article to be very interesting. One of my personal heroes, Malcolm X, someone I truly love and respect when you study his life and the evolution of how he was a man who I don't blame for hating white people at that time in America, but who evolved as a human being, who through the religion of Islam went to Mecca and realized that this religion does not put any race over any other race, that all people are equal in the eyes of God and truly have been throughout its inception. And that when he saw this in Mecca, he became, he became a martyr. He was killed. He started preaching that all people can live together in peace. It doesn't matter what their color is. I mean, it was a very different song and dance than how he first started on the public, the public stage. Malcolm X's daughter to sue the CIA, FBI, and NYPD over the civil rights leader's assassination. 3 daughters of Malcolm X have accused the CIA, FBI, the New York Police Department, and others in a $100 million lawsuit Friday of playing roles in the 1965 assassination of the civil rights leader. In the lawsuit filed in Manhattan federal court, the daughters, along with the Malcolm X estate, claimed that the agencies were aware of and were involved in the assassination plot and failed to stop the killing. At a morning news conference, attorney Ben Crump stood with the family members as he described the lawsuit, saying he hoped federal and city officials would read it and learn all the dastardly, I never heard that word before, dastardly deeds that were done by their predecessors and try to right all these historic wrongs. Many of us are waiting for, as soon as Trump gets in office, he's going to declassify the JFK files. Okay, that's going to be a big moment of truth for people that believe that he's the one. That he's Neo from the Matrix. He's going to save the fucking world. Okay? But for me, I do believe there is truth to this. I do believe that they knew that Malcolm X was going to get killed. I do believe they knew that Martin Luther King, if they didn't do it themselves. I believe that they were surveilling these people. They knew it. And if it was people outside of the agencies that actually did it, they just didn't prevent it from happening. As the movie Malcolm X said, that's too much power for one Negro, right? If you go watch the movie, and I'm quoting the movie, so don't go fucking crazy here. In that scene where Malcolm X is in front of the police station and they see him mobilize African Americans, and I believe this. I believe he would have changed everything. If he got to live his life, it would have been a very different America. And I don't think what happened to that community would have happened. I think that that community, after the loss of Dr. King, after the loss of Malcolm X, two amazing human beings, two amazing leaders, they infiltrated their communities. They flooded them with drugs. They destroyed them. They destroyed the family unit. They changed hip-hop and turned it into a weapon to destroy their future generations. And this is what has happened to them, in my humble opinion, after the death of Dr. King and after the death of Malcolm X. And then you had this skyrocketing of children being born out of wedlock and then abortion to destroy them. So that's my 2 cents on that. So I'm kind of tired, guys. I went off on a tangent here, and it is Saturday, and everyone's blowing up my phone. Some other good news: processed food stocks fall as investors brace for increased scrutiny under Trump RFK Jr. Processed food stocks tumbled on Friday as investors feared a crackdown under President-elect Donald Trump and ally Robert F. Kennedy. The declines came after Trump named Kennedy as his nominee for Secretary of the Health and Human Services Department. Processed food stocks tumbled on Friday as investors feared a crackdown. There's so much poison in our food. Okay, at least if something comes good out of this next administration, I really think that they're going to be strong for once. I would also say RFK is in danger because these people have billions of dollars. These pharmaceutical companies, these food companies, okay? So I really hope they take the poison out of this food. Too many people are dying of cancer, getting ADD, autism, all this shit. We need a food purification process. We need the FDA to take care of people, man. Oh, I'm reading the chat, folks, but you got to understand, this is a podcast. I am reading the chats. I am looking at them. I need to structure the show in a way where we can make it interactive, but I got to make it easy listening for my podcast, audience that doesn't get to watch or look at the comments. So just keep in mind, I'm looking at, your comments here, Snow9 and all of you. I see you. Julian, I might even put him up over here. I'm restructuring things. I got Sonny Foz helping me. He's coached some of the biggest YouTube personalities on earth, and I'm looking forward to it. Now, at this stage in the game, it is very easy to see that Israel never had the intention of allowing the Palestinians to return to Gaza, which effectively makes it 100% ethnic cleansing. This is CNN reporting, so don't strike my account. Okay, don't shadow my shit. Get out or die. Civilians in Gaza flee with the clothes on their backs. The Human Rights Watch published a 150-page report claiming Israel has overseen the forced mass displacement of Palestinians in Gaza, which the Israeli military denies. How are you going to fucking deny it? We can see it everywhere. There's video after video after video. Okay? Follow my guy, Subway DJ, man. He's dope, man. His content is sick. He puts up the craziest stuff. Hold on. Like, what's the... He goes to, these protests. He just gets amazing footage, man. He's crazy. I'm going to start streaming with him, to be honest with you. I'm going to start going out once or twice a week, and I'm going to get you guys content that you're going to fucking love. You're going to love it. Here's an example of the type of content. Yesterday, they were protesting in front of the Times Square, New York Times office building, where they print a lot of lies on the papers.
You're like this. They're in the fucking cop car. Stupid. Walk away. Walk away.
So they arrested. Just phenomenal work that Subway DJ does. We became friends a couple years ago. We were going through the streets of the East Village with a speaker full of Albanian music, and we had like 500. I actually have a viral video on TikTok where there's like 500 Americans dancing to Albanian music. It went viral about 2 years ago. That's how I met Subway DJ. I need to repost that video, though. It's actually really awesome. For those of you that follow me on TikTok, if it's still here in January, at Bek Lover. Are you enjoying this other side of me? You guys always see me on these podcasts talking about religion and God. Like, this is really what I usually do. This is my work. I like to talk about the news and read your comments and interact with you and talk about things to come. And I'm not saying I'm right about everything. I wanna humbly just tell you, I'm not saying I'm God. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I'm right. I appreciate a lot of your feedback. I mean, you guys flood me with articles, man, on my Instagram especially. Like, you guys send me something that I see like 2 months ago sometimes, but please keep sending it, because there's a lot of times you send me things that I might have missed or that give me a piece of the puzzle where I can add to the show. So I love you guys and girls for sending me the stuff that you do. And I love the interaction. And I love you too, Scott H. JBO, you guys need to tag Joe Rogan and all these bastards and tell them, listen, this guy is the only guy that can deliver a message that will unite the people of God against the people of darkness. That there's no reason to fight each other, that's what they want. So, you know, crazy. Police out there doing some wicked shit sometimes. 2 Missouri officers accused of stealing nude photos from dozens of women's phones at traffic stops. So that's pretty cool. Trump health could reverse Biden-Harris policies on gender treatments for minors. Bravo, bravo. There's no reason why children should be chopping off their fucking, private parts when they don't even understand what they're doing to the age of reason, which is at least 18, okay? Make sure you follow on Kick. Make sure you follow on Twitch. Giuliani lost his Mercedes. It's a shame to see the guy who literally saved New York City be in as much trouble as he is. Now, I can't stand his support of what's going on in the Middle East. I can't support, a lot of things that he's done, he should have just stayed out of and minded his own business. But what he did for New York City, I'll always thank him for. But he lost a lot of respect supporting, what's going on over there. So make sure you follow on X. I have a lot of content I post on here. When you go on X, you're going to notice that there's a lot of what's called live on X. So if I just zoom in here real quick, I go into a lot of these rooms and I get modded very quickly. As you can see, this is broadcasting as we speak. So if you're following on X, much love and respect. But I also co-host and I get on stage a lot with some of the biggest content creators on the platform. I used to co-host rooms with Mario Nafal, but he's too big and cool now for his boy, who didn't turn his back on him when everyone threw his ass off Clubhouse and fucking crucified him. The biggest content creator on X right now forgot his boy Bek Lover that used to co-host some of the biggest stages on Clubhouse. And I got thrown off of Clubhouse too. I need water. He forgot his boy. He forgot his boy Bek Lover. But it's okay, because big on Clubhouse, big on X soon. We're coming live. We're coming back. Shout out to everyone that's watching this live stream, to all of you that have supported me for the last 4 or 5 years against all of the suppression, the lies, the propaganda. I'm not left. I'm not right. I'm a human being. What is right is right. What is wrong is wrong. We stick together. Fuck hatred. Fuck war. Fuck usury and interest rates that suck the blood out of the average American and people across the globe. Fuck this debt-based system. Fuck Esparza Gomez, and fuck the Diaz brothers. I bury the cockroaches. With that said, my friends, this is Bek Lover, live broadcast that started out like a podcast. We had a technical glitch. We improvised. That's what we do. We fucking improvise. That is life. Things don't always go the way you want. You can give up, you can stop, or you can adapt. Life is not easy. Never surrender. Never go silent into the night. Never give up. Never, ever, ever. You're blocking my whole street. Here's a cup of water. Don't ever do that again, ever. But thank you. Do not go silently into that good night. I want to leave you with my favorite poem that I think it's important to understand the words by Dylan Thomas. Do not go gently into that good night. I want to read this with my voice. If one of you in the audience wants to take my reading of this poem and make some kind of sound bite with it, it would make me happy. So I'm going to read this with some theatrics. I'm going to read this with some emotion. I'm going to give you a little inspiration. This is a poem that helped me go through when I lost my brother. God rest his soul, my uncle, my mom's brother, but he was my older brother. When he died, I lost myself. I lost my way. I lost my mind. I lost consciousness of my reality. I stayed in a room and played Xbox so I wouldn't lose my mind. If you're going through a hard time in your life right now, I want you to know that you're not alone, that you're not the first and you won't be the last, that tragedy can strike at any time, that you can make plans, but God has other plans, and that eventually, sooner or later, you will have loss in this life, whether it's your health, whether it's wealth, whether it's your family, whether it's all of the above, that this world was not designed for you to be comfortable and happy and think that things will always stay the same. That's why when you take care of your friends, your family, the people that you love, just know that you might not see them tomorrow. I didn't know that I would never see my brother again. I spoke to him the day before, and in the morning I find out he's gone. So it took me years to get back up. That was the inspiration for the comeback team. And that's going to be a community that I am developing where you will have access to me. We will discuss life. We will inspire one another to never surrender. We will inspire one another to get back up after defeat, after knockdowns, and after knockouts, because life has two things. It has knockdowns and knockouts. Knockdowns are, oh, I lost my job, or, oh, I gained 30 pounds, or, oh, I need to quit smoking, or my girlfriend left me, okay? Knockouts are when something catastrophic happens to you that there's no solution, that rather than just fix what's wrong, you have to find a way to carry on with this catastrophic loss. And a lot of times it's when we lose somebody that we love, somebody that's died, somebody that meant the world to us. So this poem, what it means to me when you read this poem by Dylan Thomas is that you're going to die anyway. So rather than go silently into death because life defiles you, that you should rage against the darkness of this world, that you should rage against your mortality, meaning you're going to die anyway. You got nothing to lose. So rage. Rage against the dying of the light. The dying of the light means when the curtain comes for all of us. So I'm going to read this poem for you. And here we go. Sorry, Mother Mary. Here we go. Where is the damn poem? Here we go. If I can find it. I love this poem. And I'm going to end the broadcast with this. Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Though wise men at their end know dark is right, because their words had forked no lightning, they do not go gentle into that good night. Good men the last wave by, crying how bright their frail deeds might have danced in a green bay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Wild men who caught and sang the sun in flight and learned too late they grieved in on its way. Do not go gentle into that good night. Grave men near death who see with blinding sight, blind eyes could blaze like meters and be gay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. And you, my father, there on the sad height, curse bless me now with your fierce tears, I pray. Do not go gentle into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. This is Bek Lover. You're watching another episode of the Interesting Times podcast, where you never know what you're going to get. All you know is that I'm out of my mind, and you're going to be entertained, and you're going to learn a thing or two about life, and we're going to have a good time together. And I'm looking for my theme song because I don't have my soundboard. And I'm going to end this stream. And I want to thank all of you for being there for me, for not giving up on me. You're not going to always agree with everything I do, but just understand I appreciate the feedback. Don't give up on me just because you don't like something I do. We shouldn't write each other off. I have a little glitch here, as you can see on my screen. Cool. Look, another glitch there because I probably moved. But in any event, this is Bek Lover, and you're watching another episode of the Interesting Times podcast right here on the Bek Lover podcast. Never surrender. Let's go. To the next time, my friends. Sayonara. Daniel Scott disguised all of you. This is your boy Bek Lover signing off.